I just showed this little bud on my last video. I don't know if you remember it, but it was like a salmony color with these green tips. And now it's just so much darker and brighter. And I want to say it's probably been a day and a half to 2 days since I shot the bud before. So it was only a couple of days ago that I took that video, and just look how much more intense and brighter it's gotten in that short amount of time. I am not sure if there is a name for this Lisianthus, like the type, because all the Lisianthus I grew this year were from saved seeds, so this isn't like a type you can just go out and buy. I'm hoping that there's enough time that this has a chance to mature, and hopefully it doesn't get bug damage so I can save seeds from it. And then I've got this little bud here, right beside it. You can see they start off green. Such a pretty Lisianthus. Hey y'all, how you doing? We finally got some much needed rain, and since that causes the ground to be softer, I decided I was going to go look for a couple ninebarks that have been buried in the weeds and have been struggling because they're not in a place that gets enough sunlight. So I wanted to go search for those and dig them up while the ground's soft, but as soon as I went in and grabbed my camera, it started to sprinkle. I'm going to go grab my shovel, and then I'm going to go show you whereabouts they are, and how much I'm able to record will all depend on whether this stays a sprinkle or whether it actually starts to rain. Those ninebarks are somewhere in this weedy area back here. But honestly, they've been so neglected, they might have died. And that rain's really starting to come down. So I don't think I'm going to be able to show me actually looking for or digging them up if I find them. But I will come back and give you a progress report once I'm done searching. Can you see that rain coming down in my screen? It's starting to get harder. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to cover my camera and search for those ninebarks. It's raining harder, but I thought I'd grab you real quick because I found one. It's right down here. So that means the other one's close by, but for now I'm going to, it's these dark burgundy leaves here, in case you can't tell. So I'm going to dig this up and then look for the other one. It's still raining, but I did find that second one. It is down here in this clump of weeds. So I guess next I'm going to dig that out. I'm just glad I found both of them. So I was able to find both of the ninebarks, but they were not happy in their home. I mean, this is all the bigger it's gotten, and it's been in the ground for a couple years at least. This right here, if I'm not mistaken, is the little devil ninebark. And this one right here with the bigger leaves is the summer wine ninebark. If those are incorrect, I'll put the correct names on the screen. That rain's starting to come down heavier, so I think I'm going to go get these in pots real quick, and I will see you at the next task. I'm about ready to walk up to my top garden, my vegetable garden, and I haven't taken you all up there with me in a while because it's just a really overgrown mess, and there's a lot going on in a way, but there's also a lot of weeds. Some of the things just kind of puttered out. But I do want to take you with me and show you the things that are thriving. So let's go look at my weedy vegetable garden. Alright, this whole area here, this is nothing but ground cherries. I think amongst this somewhere there are some pepper plants.
There's a a good example of a ripe ground cherry. Whenever the husk is like this and they've fallen off on the ground, you don't want to pick them off the plant. You just want to pick them up off the ground. But yeah, whenever you bust it open, it's this nice deep yellow color. And if you see any green in it, if it's mostly yellow with a little bit of green, it's probably alright, but it's going to be sour. But whenever they're completely solid yellow like this, they're absolutely delicious, very sweet.
There are a ton of ground cherries on this plant. They all will not have time to ripen. But I also have, in amongst these ground cherries, I have this pepper plant here, and it's got some pretty decent sized peppers. And I'm hoping to find some more.
Here's the difference between them. That one's dead ripe. That one, even though the husk is brown, is still green. You do not want to eat them like this. They're extremely sour and they can give you a bellyache. But let them ripen. They're wonderful.
Most of the stuff is grown over, but you will see all of these marigolds. And I do have basil growing in between them. I have basil here. It's going to seed. I think I might let it. It's going to flower. So yeah, even though this is full of weeds, there's still tons of marigolds and tons of basil. Like all those little golden patches you see down through there are marigolds. I have these Murasaki purple pepper plants, and they're covered. They're covered in peppers. Got a couple really red ones down there that I need to pick, but even like back and through there, they're covered in peppers. Let me grab these. Also, I have some beans here that I want to grow to seed, because the beans that I planted up here, I grew for seed. I really won't know what type they are until I break them open. Let's see, it looks like I've got another red pepper back in here. Are you a blue boy? Are you blue? You gotta come around. He's trying to figure out a way in. He'll figure out a way through probably before he figures out a way around.
There you go. All right. That's the way.
There you go. You figured it out.
You made it. Good job, pal. You're the best. Oh, I love you. You little pug.
I'm going to have Dalton break these open so I can see what color the seeds are. Are they green?
They are dark green.
Those are green, so those are the Mbombo beans, and I'm sure I've got a tag down there. The ground cherries are so overgrown, it was kind of really hard it's hard to find it right now. I do have a little volunteer of the Coral Fountain Amaranth, and we have a bunch of tomatillos on this plant. I don't think that any of them are ready yet, though. That one doesn't hardly have anything in it. Yeah, some of these probably won't have time to mature before our first frost comes. But if I start looking around, I bet you I'll find some that are close to ready. There's all different ones back in there, so we'll see. A ripe tomato.
Nice.
I wonder what you are. Yeah, look at all these marigolds. And I really love these marigolds that have like the ferny leaf. But yeah, all the marigolds are doing well, and all the basil. Just look how glorious all those marigolds are. I know I keep talking about it, but just look at them. They're doing so well. Bet you we still have, oh, let's pull up a carrot. Well, no, that doesn't look like anything. Ah! Let's pull up another one. Well, that is very immature, and it's definitely more than one, so I'm not going to say this was a great carrot year, but also root vegetables like this help the soil. They put little pockets into the hard soil for nutrients and compost and all that good stuff to work its way down into and soften it up and improve the soil. So even though I don't have a great carrot here, every little bit helps. I want to show you this floss flower. It just grows wild here. This is a wildflower for us, but it's still one of my favorites this time of year. It's just so beautiful and so blue. Right now it actually looks a little lavender. It's just a really pretty plant and one of my favorite wildflowers this time of year. Alright, that's all I've got for you on this top part of my weedy overgrown garden. A lot of ground cherries, some peppers. I'm sure I'll find beans that have gone to seed once I start ripping some of this stuff out. Let me turn you around and show you my little harvest. We got some peppers, a tomato, and a couple of beans that I will use for seeds. Alright, this is a pretty wildflower bouquet that my baby just put together, and I just want to show you guys how beautiful this is. This is just wildflowers and foliage from our yard. It's so gorgeous. Look how interesting these seed pods are. That is a type of clematis that grows wild here. I'm standing up here in front of my ring garden, and I'm going to be digging up the plants that are in here that I want to keep, because we're doing a reset on this garden this fall, probably into next spring. Due to the fact it's got this vinyl fencing, it makes it really hard to keep weeded, because when stuff grows through it, it either rips, I can't flame weed against it, and for a plethora of other reasons, we are going to be putting metal fencing up. And in the meantime, I'm digging up my plants, because these plants here aren't in great soil. Even though I backfilled with compost, this particular area has a whole lot of rock and a whole lot of stone. So I'm wanting to dig up the plants. I'm going to put them in pots for now. And then eventually, a little bit later, we're going to we're going to weed eat everything out of here, and then we're going to dig up some dirt and give the plants a little bit of room, or give their roots a little bit more room to grow. We're going to kind of dig bigger holes than what we need, but we'll get into that when it's time. But for now, I just want to try to find my plants through the weeds. Hopefully I can find them. There's a couple of grape vines. There's a couple of climbing roses. There's a few things. I'll show you what I got whenever I get done.
The words come so easy, but the flow is so greasy. Like a doll up, a daisy pack a wall up. You can't phase the amazingly brazen laser sharp ways. I lay these phrases praising.
Okay, I'm going to show you what I got dug up. This is one of my little grapevines, and you can see there are no leaves on it and it looks dead. But there's a couple of pieces that are broken and they're still green. So I'm going to put this in a pot and give it a try. I don't remember right off the top of my head what varieties these are. So if I can find them, I will pop the name on the screen. And if the name's not on the screen, then I wasn't able to find records of what they were. I try to keep really good records, but sometimes in the shuffle, your records get lost, or you think you've got something written down and you don't. I may have the tag for it, and also I'll go look on my videos to see if I can find it, but if for some reason the names aren't on the screen, it's because I just couldn't find them. This right here is a brown turkey fig, and for me this dies back every year like a deciduous plant, But this is all it grew this year. If that doesn't tell you how compacted that soil is, it's really good about this far down because of the compost and mulch that I've added, but below that it's just hard pan and rock. So I'm going to have to dig out and reconfigure that. Here is my other grapevine, and as you can see, it has a lot more growth. But literally, it's been in the ground for a few years now. And sorry, I'm picking weeds out of it. It's been in the ground a few years now, and this is all the bigger it gets. It hasn't gotten fruit yet. So I'm going to pot it up like the rest of them, and hopefully get them a better habitat. This is a climbing rose. It's been in the ground a few years now, and this is all it grew this year. Now they do bloom. They've bloomed for me. Both of these climbing roses bloom. They don't get very big, and this is a climbing rose, not a shrub rose. So should have big, long, beautiful branches that I need to cut back, and it doesn't. And the last thing I got was this rose here, and once again, it's a climbing rose. It should be climbing, and that's all the further it grew this year. I was not able to find my hops plants, so I'm assuming they died, or they're just mixed in with the weeds to the point where I wasn't able to find them. And I was going to dig up my clematis, even though technically they weren't in that garden. They are on my greenhouse that's adjacent to that garden, like my greenhouse frame that's adjacent to that garden. But when I got to looking at it, I'm going to have to like use some scissors and cut the net and just be more careful with it than I was willing to be right now. Especially since it's going to rain some more, and I'm just trying to really beat the rain and get this done in between storms. I'm so happy to have the rain. We really needed it. Even though we've had like 2 days of rain now, we're still in a severe drought. So we need a lot more. We've got several days coming, and I'm so glad. But I do like to get these things dug up when the ground's soft, because they're in hard pan, especially some of those roots that did manage to get a little deeper. I really just think that due to the fact that there's so many weeds there that I can't handle correctly, and due to the fact that it's just so little room for their roots to expand, they're just kind of stunted. I probably won't get to actually dealing with that ring until after the frost happens, so I've got probably, I want to say, anywhere between, on average, 3 to 4 weeks before I actually start worrying about that project. Maybe even a little longer. I want to do it before the ground freezes, but after the frost, when I'm ripping out garden stuff and just resetting things, I want to do it then. I know that some of these tasks aren't beautiful. They're not the glamorous things. They're not the pretty gardens, but just the way my summers worked out, there was a lot of things that just got away from me. I do have a lot of weeds. There are a lot of factors in that, and I'm trying to set myself up for success. That's why I'm going to be resetting a lot of beds and kind of reconfiguring my infrastructure slowly over time, because it's mostly just me. I do get help. So, I do get help. It's not like I don't get help. It's just most of the time it's me. So things go a little more slowly than maybe some other people's gardens that you may watch. I really appreciate you guys hanging out for me. I think I'm going to call it a day, well, 2 days. We worked yesterday and today. I think I'm going to call it done, though, in this video here, and I will see you on the next project. Bye.